Well, hey there, my friends. Welcome to my channel, Ink and Whimsy. I'm Laura Daniels, and I love it when we get to spend this time together scrapbooking. We're going to be using the beautiful Latte Love Sweet Collection by Stampin' Up. Now, this is an oldie but goodie. Some of you may still have it in your stash. If you don't, you can just find corresponding different colors that go with it. But my favorites are these right here, this beautiful color right here, along with the beige and the whites. So I'm very excited to show you what we're going to be doing. We're going to be creating a double page spread. I have already created page B, and I'm going to be showing you page A and how we put it together. And it tells the story of when we were on a Mediterranean cruise and we pulled into the port of Valetta, Italy. And my sister found us the most beautiful coffee shop for us to have coffee in. So I had to tell the story with this stamp set, right? These are some of the stamp sets we're using in the actual page A that we're creating. Of course, you'll see it in corresponding page B. Latte Love has the coffee pot, the coffee cup, it has the splatters, has all the good stuff. And then I added some florals into the page. So you'll see that I have stamped, colored, and die cut these out. And then, of course, these are some of my favorite images. This is Coffee with Friends, and I just love these images here. And this is the one I use on the layout. Now, here are some of the pieces of ephemera we're going to be using. Of course, we're going to do some adding to the edges of paper with a blending brush. We're using the ink spot here. And then look at these. Oh, my gosh. They look like little coffee swirls, and I have no idea what it's called. I didn't keep it on there. Well, all right, look at these. This is a die cut image from Stampin' Up. I'll show that to you. These are a couple of pieces of the ephemera that I stamped, colored, and cut, and I have my title already. So I hope you're excited to get started. So I'm going to clear this away, and let's begin. My favorite pieces of cardstock in this collection are this Lost Lagoon right here. Oh my gosh, I just love those colors. And then the white with the, I think the color is pecan pie or early espresso, but this looks like the tops of the coffee when they put the creamer in with the coffee. So I love that. All right, so let's get started putting this page together. I cannot wait to show you page B. All righty, so the first thing we're going to do is take a blending brush and we're going to use pecan pie. And we're going to go over these two pieces right here before I put them down. This was a really fun cruise port because tell me if any of you have been there. I've already done one layout of our port visit to Valetta, and it was about Mom on the scavenger hunt, not a scavenger hunt, she was just in search of a rose gelato. Her cousin had shared it that when she went there years ago, that it was the best rose gelato she has ever had. So Mom was on a quest. That's the word. Mom was on a quest. So I used Unbounded Beauty by Stampin' Up, and I created this bright, beautiful layout, and it just tells the story of this quest. So that was a neat one. And oh, that's right. And then I did another video of us when we were in Valetta, and oh my gosh, it's the story of when Mom and I got lost. Right after we had spent the whole day walking around. We must have done 20,000 steps, right? And we went. Mom and I said, we're ready to go back to the ship. Well, we got lost on the way back. We did not tell my sister. I'm telling you, we did not tell my sister until we were safely ensconced in our room on the cruise ship, sitting on our balcony, sipping a glass of wine. That's how much we did not want to tell my sister because she was so worried about us. She did not want to let us go off on our own, but we were like, we can do this. We can do this. It was like 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes of her walking off. The GPS stopped working. Of course, we're in a foreign country, right? Wi-Fi. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. So we did not do well with that. All right, so we're going to put this first piece on right here. All right, then we're going to add this second piece. And I've already taken care of the edges, and we want this dovetail out this way. If you're ever going to do a dovetail, they're so easy to do. Just kind of fold the paper, pinch it. You know, you're going to pinch it on this end, just where you want it to be, and then take your scissors and go straight to that center point. And if anyone looks at it that close, because they're going, oh, wait a minute, you're a little bit off right there. Girl, they are not your friend. You just tell them to go to somewhere else and watch scrapbook videos or look at other pages. That's all I got to say about that. I think sounds like a box of chocolate quote or something. All right. I need to buy some more Tombow glue because it just ran out. So we're going to use this right here in the interim. I don't think it gives you the wiggle room you normally need when you're going to lay something down, but we are going to work with what we have, right? That's what you got to do. All right, here we go. Lay it down. I just can't mess up, that's all, said Laura to everybody, which does not work. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to see page B. And you know that one of the reasons I do it this way, so that I can maintain my joy of scrapbooking. I take the time to put together the scrapbook page, and I don't obviously glue anything or do that. And then I enjoy putting together a scrapbook page without it being on camera and everybody watching me. You know how that makes me nervous, right? So I get to enjoy putting one full page together, listening to my favorite podcast. I can be singing. I can, you know, any way that I want to be doing it. All right. And then I film the first page. So half of the stress level is off my body, out of my mind. I don't even think about it. So I like that. All right, this made me nervous. I looked at this going, uh-oh, where does that go? I know where this goes. This goes right here because you're going, Laura, I thought you had already put this together. I do. I have a photo on my iPad just to the right side of me that I can look at so that I appear to have it completely all together, which is almost laughable because you guys watch my videos and you're going, oh my gosh, she so does not have it together. Like, see, right here, I need to trim it off. As much as I thought I was ready, this is going to be close enough right here. I'm going to put this down. Yep, that'll do. That'll do. All right, where's the photos? They are nowhere to be found. Y'all have them? Oh, goodness sake, they're right here. I could be such a bozo. All right, look at the difference this makes when I mat it on this chocolate coffee swirl. Look at the difference right there. All right, so that's the first thing. That's the first mat. And the second one is I'm going to put it on this Lost Lagoon. Whoop, I can't see the edge. All right, here we go. And I'm going to turn this right side up because if any of you are trying to read it, I can just see you turning your phone around and it keeps switching, and that's probably driving you crazy. Okay, think, Laura. All right, here we go. We're going to flip this over. Put this one right here. Put this one on here. And the coffee shop was called Cafe Cordina. And wait till you see the photos of the inside of this coffee shop. This was just what we had to drink and eat. Like, I guess that validated. We were validated in eating and drinking that because number one, we were on a cruise. Number two, we were in the Mediterranean. 3, we were in Italy. And 4, we had walked like 15,000 steps at this point. So there. How's that for a rationale? Not to mention, life is short. You gotta enjoy it, right? Oh yeah, I can. Like I tell my daughter, I'll ask her rather. I don't tell her. I say, Lauren, you want me to talk you into it, or you want me to talk you out of it? And sometimes she'll say, talk me out of it. And other times she'll say, talk me into it. And we just both laugh. But you know what? You need to know what the parameters are and what you're supposed to be doing there. Is that correct or what? Yeah. So that's what we do. All right, let's lay it down straight. Oh my goodness. I think too much about it, gets all crooked. Okay. Now we're going to lay this down, and it's going to go just above or right around the two, because we don't get particular about this stuff because we want to enjoy the process, don't we? And I'm aware of that right there. And it goes a little bit around the two because we want it to match the other page. All right, it's going to go right there. I think that looks good. Now look how pretty that looks. I think it does on the brown matting and then the Lost Lagoon. All right, so now let's put down, and it's so funny, whenever we go into a shop, I have to take either a photo of the shop or the cafe on the outside before we go in, so I'll remember. Do any of you do that? And see, Cafe Cortina, since 1837. So yes, I am one of those people. So if you go on a trip with me, that's what I'll do. Better yet, I'll say, okay, everyone stand in front of the shop. I will drive you crazy. I'm going to put that right there. I don't know why I start whispering. I don't know. All right. These are the pieces of ephemera we're going to be using. Now this right here is from the Nature. Oh my gosh. I do this. Oh my gosh. This is like when I'm trying to tell you guys about the take your pick tool, and I call it the pick you up tool. All right, this is called Spotlight on Nature Dies. That is a mouthful, and for me especially so. But it helps you to cut out these beautiful different circles. And if you need a landing place for your different ephemera clusters, these are awesome. Matter of fact, I have a little bin, a little tin, literally, where I'm listening to my favorite podcasts. I just cut out a bunch of them so that I always have these on hand, and I can, do some smooshing in the middle and something around the edges and all that stuff. All right, so we're going to take this piece that I die cut out from the Spotlight on Nature Dies. I know, I'm cracking up. And we're going to slip this right in here because this is the base. Where we're going. Slide it in just a little bit right there. All right, now look at this. Oh my gosh, I just love it. Now I'm going to show you the die cut for this, but this is a piece of vellum, and then it's the coffee maker and then the coffee inside. So let me show you that real quick and what it looks like, because it was the coolest thing. And this is another thing I did, and you'll see different photos throughout this video where I'll show you the different stages of stamping, coloring, and die cutting. But here it is right here. So here's the die cut with one piece and two pieces and three pieces. It's this one right here. I also use the coffee cups, and I use the spoon, and then these pieces here cut out actual prints that are on the cardstock. These are coffee beans, so those are pretty cool. And then here are the stamps. Oh, it's everything that makes me happy. Coffee makers, coffee cups. All right, so we're going to put this one down first, right here. And it's easy to find places on the back of this to stick your vellum, especially if you use this, because it dries clear. You'll notice I use this on page 2. So we're going to set this down about right here, because it needs to be on something. You see how going over into the photo a little bit, it just adds to the dimension of it all. I like it. She likes it. All right, here's one of the florals I did. And this is with Lost Lagoon. And I stamped these and colored them with the stamping blends. And what's neat is you have a light and a dark. Let's see if this is these are the same ones. Well, this is Lost Lagoon. So that's what I used because it's what I needed to use. I'm stumbling over my words. This is called Lost Lagoon. So you have a light and a dark. So I did not color all of it in. I'm going to show you the stamp real quick. And you'll see up in the screen where I stamped them and then I colored them. But even right here, See how it has these open parts right here? I left those white. And then I put a little bit of Calypso Coral in the center. But I really think it made it pop. All right, I am rambling. All right, now these are pieces you could cut out of the actual cardstock, and they have all these little coffee cups. And let me show you all the ones that I have cut out. All right, let's just do some show and tell. These are all the different coffee cups I cut out of the 12 by 12 piece of paper. I just had fun watching my favorite TV show or listen to a podcast. And these are a lot of the florals that I stamped, colored, and then die cut out. So you'll see me using different pieces. And then here's some stamped images. These are those coffee beans. See them right here? And look at all these cute little coffee cups. Oh my gosh. And the spoons, colored those in. And then these croissants here. All right. So I had fun. It's part of the enjoyment for me and just getting the whole suite together and having fun with it. All right. Where did that go? Now we got to find another one. I think I dropped it. All right. Here's one right here. All right. So here we go. Unless it's right here and I don't see it. We're going with the coffee theme. So this is going to go under this right here because we're showing the coffee. Want to come down just a little bit to kind of tie it all together. And then we have one of these tiny little coffee cups I made. Not adorable. And I want to put this on a dimensional. So I'm going to put it right on the back here. And we're going to stick this right here. I don't want to go right to the edge. I don't know. There's just something in me that says, okay, you got to be a little off center because it'll look better. So that's where I go with that. Here's one of these florals. This was using Calypso Coral, light and then dark in the middle there. I'm going to stick this right here. This is a ribbon. I think it was a Stampin' Up one. Oh my gosh, I just fell in love with it. I go, I need something that's Lost Lagoon color. And then I found this, so I was quite happy. And I just put a glue dot right in the middle when I folded it over. All right, so let's lift this up. I'm going to put that right there. Okay, I want to stick down these little leaves. Remember, I colored all those up there. Okay. And we're going to do some stamping. I want this to go about right here. Okay. And look at this. I did this on a foil. Now, this is a Stampin' Up color. Could not tell you what it's called. But it's a thing. It's a thing. Here's another one we're going to lay down. Just dropped a top. We're going to put these. Oh my gosh. Isn't this just so cute? Now, I want to put these coffee beans on a dimensional. I'm going to put those right there. And then this one right here. Let's get this out of the way. Oh, well, here's the piece I was looking for. I just don't know sometimes. I do not think I could go to, and now I let this dry, I could go to a scrap meet somewhere. I would forget something. Or I would leave something. And the stress of trying to remember everything to bring would literally drive me crazy. So, no, I need to be right here in my craft room. Okay. Now, people, we are going to do our title. And it's called, I made the title what it is. We're at the Cafe Corradina in Valetta, Italy. And this is a tip, if you watch my videos, is to use a ruler, a clear one. You can buy these in any office store. So this way you can move them around, but you can still see what's underneath. So I want to put this about right here and have Valetta, Italy right there. And since I've already put down the coffee beans, I'm going to have to lift those up so that it'll work. Now, I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to put these on, and through the magic of YouTube, it'll be 2 seconds. Now, see how quick that was? Don't you wish scrapbooking could be that quick all the time? All righty. Let's re-put our little coffee beans down there. Okay, doesn't that look wonderful? I love it. All right, so now we're going to do some stamping, which is always fun. And I want to put some coffee beans, not the coffee beans, the actual splatter over here. I need to move my glue dot. Here we go. Let's throw that away. Put it right here because I want some right over here. All right, here's the stamp. Here is the ink pad. Let's move this out of the way. And we will be using this, and then to put these on, and we'll be doing the reveal, which is always fun. Now, we're going to do second generation, but first we're going to do first generation. Okay. All right, so we're going to stamp it down, then we're going to turn it, and I want to do it this way so it's lighter. Doesn't that look cool? That's all I want to do right there. Now we're going to shut this so one does not drop ink pad onto beautiful layout we've just created. All right, I'm going to get another dimensional behind these coffee beans, and then we're going to add some of these beautiful, I don't know what you call them. All right, let's get this right here, and I need to find the pin that goes in this because it keeps drying. Boy, does this dry fast. Already I can't find it, so we're going to use that. How's that? All right, that didn't work. There we go. Ah, here it is. Oh my goodness. Stick this in here. Okay, let's clean it out again. Let's use it. There's just so many steps here. Let's see if it comes out now. Yep. Okay, I am going to cover that before I move on. Stick that down. Cover this. This is why I like the Tombow glue, because I can stick it in that little Hoodigator and it's always ready. But when it runs out, it runs out. All right, are you ready to see? This is what these are. Adhesive backed swirl dots. Okay, now, you ready to see what the take your pick me up tool is? Pick me up tool, okay? This is your pick me up. Only kidding. This is your take your pick tool. So we're going to add a little bit of these, a few of these. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh my gosh. Okay, I want one up here. I want to add this pretty, look how that matches. And these are from Hip Kit Club. Oh my gosh, they have perfect stamps. All right, that one's going to go there. And let's put one of these up here. And we may or may not do threes. You think this will look good? Oh yeah. All right, right there. And we should put one of these down here because we just want to do even Steven. And right there. All right, let's get that on the floor. My floor just gets covered. All right, my friends, this is it. Don't go anywhere because we're about to do the big reveal. Let's put this in here. So we're just all set. Let's move this out of the way. And I will be right back. All right, are you excited? I wanted to remind you of the stamp sets I use in case you want to try to find them somewhere. It's Happiness Abounds. I use these florals. Coffee with Friends for this image right here. And then Latte Love. This is the Latte Love suite from Stampin' Up. And I have, do I have one of these in there? I don't know, but I did stamp some and color them. And here is our coffee and the swirl and all this fun stuff and the spoons. All right, so let me set these aside. Are you ready for the reveal? Because I'm excited to show you page B. All right, my friends, here we go. What do you think? I love, 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 love the way it all came together. So let me show you my favorites on the one we just did. And it's how the title came together. I love this cluster right here. And I love how I got creative using the foil. I'm not sure what this is called. And just kind of have the coffee cups a little offset. This is just so much fun to put together. And you'll see that I have yellow on the other page, so I wanted to do that. And I love our little cluster right here. Now, page B is my absolute favorite. Look at this right here. See these? Behind these coffee cups is a woman's head. I have no idea who she is. I didn't want her in the photo. So And of course, you need a tab too, right? So I put the coffee cups, and you flip it up, and then you see the inside of this coffee shop. Is it not stunning? Let me lift this up and show it to you. So here you have the coffee cups that are used as the tab, and then you flip it up, and then you see it like this. Hard for me to tell if I'm in frame, but this is the inside, and that's a stairwell going up. Look how ornate it is. I can't wait to read you my journaling. And I do love this, and you can see where I carried over this from the Natures of Stylist dies, whatever, I still can't get that right. The florals. I have another coffee cup. I have the little yellow coffee cup like I do right over here. And then look at the ephemera cluster I did on the bottom. I used the girl from the stamp. I have another circle, the same florals, the coffee cup. And I wanted to show you how I brought in each of these clusters this same foil. So here it is on a coffee pot. Here it is in a spoon, and here it is in the cups. And then I have 3 of the same florals. I have the ribbon up here. I have the yellow cups right down there. And then, of course, I have the coffee beans. And then you can see here, I did the journaling. I printed it up on some vellum. Now, the only thing with vellum is you just need to give it time to dry. You just take a ruler. This is all I do is I take a ruler and I go, okay, and that's about 2 3/4. So when I am writing on the computer on a PDF, I just set the parameters to that. I print it out on a piece of regular white computer paper. I cut it to see if it's right. I check to see if that's the color I want to use. If it's all set, I'll either print it on cardstock to put on my page, or I'll print it on vellum. All right, this is my favorite. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, all right, so let me read you my journaling. And please pause right now and give me a thumbs up, because that is what is helping the algorithms. I'm really trying to grow my channel. And it's not easy if I don't have the thumbs up and I don't have a comment. So you do either of those things, or both is best. I just love you dearly and I appreciate you. All right, so while you're looking at this, you can take a screenshot at it, because I hate it when I'm trying to take a screenshot so that I can, scrap lift it and the person keeps putting their hands in the way. So like, please stop moving your hands. So I have moved my hands. All right, and I'm going to read you the journaling. And I titled it Cobble Streets and Delicious Cappuccinos, 29 October 2023. Our cruise ship glided smoothly over the Mediterranean Sea, pulling slowly into the port of Valetta. The salty sea breeze tousled our hair as we eagerly looked out over our room's balcony. The view was simply breathtaking as we took in the grandeur of the old city walls against the blue skies. We could hardly wait to explore. The cobblestone streets of Valetta are lined with quaint shops and cafes, and Lorraine found us the perfect spot to enjoy some delicious cappuccinos. The Cafe Cordina. The sounds and smells of coffee being brewed, the scent of fresh baked pastries, and the soft chatter all around us added to the whole wonderful experience of being on yet another grand adventure with these two, my sister Lorraine, Mom, and I. And oh, I got to share this with you. See how I've kind of covered myself up? Because I am sitting so dorky. I'm the one that's, oh, let me take your picture, let me take your picture. And then it's like, okay, take my picture. And like, oh my gosh, this whole posing thing, I don't know sometimes. All right, my friends, that's it. I hope you enjoyed our time together today. Don't forget the thumbs up. Leave a comment. You know I always love hearing from you. And until we meet again, God bless. Have an incredible day and stay crafty. Bye-bye.